Good, happy Friday evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Friday evening edition of the Riley King Network Investigates. Tonight, we investigate Joe Biden and the woman that is accusing him of sexual assault, Tara Reade. Let's begin. A little history about Joe Biden. Joe Biden, born November 20th, 1942, age 77. His wife, Jill. He has 4 kids. Joe Biden's office jobs. First, he served as a member of the Newcastle County Council in the 4th District. Also, chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Also, chair of the International Narcotics Control Caucus. Also, chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Also, United States Senator from Delaware. And also, the 47th Vice President of the United States. And now he's running for the President of the United States this time around. Back around May 1st, Tara Reade, a staffer assistant in his Senate office in 1993, claims that she was assaulted by him. But Joe Biden came out and he denied the sexual assault allegations. On May 4th, 2020, Tara Reade cancels interview about sexual assault allegations against Joe Biden. Former Joe Biden staffer Tara Reade canceled a TV interview about her allegations of sexual abuse against him, which he has categorically denied. Michigan governor spoke out in defense of Biden. So, did it happen or did it not? She cancels an interview, and Joe Biden is denying that he never did it. So did it happen or not? You be the judge on that. And then, on May 4th, 2020, Senate Secretary says records requested by Biden can't be released. Despite the decision, the document's physical location remains in question. Questions remain about any records related to a claim of sexual assault against former Vice President Joe Biden by Tara Reade, a staffer who briefly worked in his Senate office in the 1990s. After the Secretary of Senate indicated they have no discretion to disclose any such information as requested by Biden to locate and release any complaint that exists against him. Biden officially asked the Senate to begin the process of searching for an alleged complaint on Friday, sending a letter to Secretary of Senate Julie E. Adams, asking for assistance to determine whether 27 years ago a staff member in my United States office filed a complaint alleging sexual harassment. The Secretary's office was advised by Senate legal counsel that the Office of Senate Affairs Employment Practice, where the former staffer's complaint would likely have been filed, has strict confidentiality requirements. Biden's campaign thought clarity. Bill, a former White House counsel under President Barack Obama, sent a reply to the Secretary of Senate asking if the existence of the complaint could legally be released, or if the complaint could be released by the party who initially filed it. The Secretary's office said those inquiries would also not be allowed. Biden has come under scrutiny following an allegation of a sexual assault by Reade, who was an entry-level Senate staffer assistant in Biden's office. According to her, Biden's aides asked her to hand-deliver a gym bag to him in the Senate office building, and when she did, She alleges he moves in close, pinned her against the wall, and slipped his hands under her skirt and penetrated her with his fingers. Biden flatly denied Reade's allegations in an interview on Friday morning. He said, "It never happened. It didn't. It never happened," Biden said. In the interview with ABC News, Reade said that she filed a written complaint that Biden made her feel uncomfortable at the time of the alleged assault, but did not include the allegation of sexual assault she has since leveled against him, and that she did not retain a copy of the complaint. Even with the Secretary's statement on Monday rejecting Biden's request to release the records, the physical location of the document remains in question after a convoluted back and forth between the Biden campaign, the U.S. Senate, and National Archives. In a May 1st statement, Biden said that the complaint would be housed at the National Archives, calling on Secretary of Senate to work with the archives to identify if any complaint exists. However, the National Archives indicated records of Senate personnel complaints made in the year Reade said she filed if are not under their control. Biden amended his previous statement in his letter to the Secretary of Senate, asking that Adams determine where the file for the Office of a Fair Employment Practice are held. It would be within the Senate's authority to pass legislation to allow for the release of any records retained by the Office of Senate a Fair Employment Practice. But when asked if that was a possibility, a spokesperson for Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell drummed, referring ABC News back to the Secretary's first release Monday. The Senate's response threatens to push the attention back to Biden's personal records, more than 1,850 boxes of archive documents from his more than 30-year career in the Senate, currently housed at the University of Delaware. Biden donated his records to the school in 2011, and a collective was initially set to be made public 2 years after he retired from public office. However, just before Biden announced his third presidential run in April 2019, the university updated its website to say the collection would remain private until 2 years after Biden retired from public life. Tippett said that records are still being processed, with many items yet to be categorized, and as a result, the university is unable to identify what documents or files can be found within the collection. Aides to Biden have accessed the records as recently as 2019, according to the university, prior to Reade's claim of sexual assault and arson that she filed the complaint against him. In an interview Friday morning on MSNBC, Biden stressed that his donated records would not contain any personal files, but personal files from his times as a U.S. Senator for Delaware, and questioned their relevance to the allegations being made by Reade. However, Biden did suggest that the files could impact the 2020 election, noting that records would be forwarded in a campaign. Allies with ties to Obama administration have come to Biden's defense, agreeing that any record Reade filed would not be housed within the collection. Many have also pointed to intense scrutiny Biden has faced when vented to serve as vice president in 2008. Bill Jeffers, a lawyer who led the venting of Biden during Obama's vice presidential search, told ABC News that they found no complaints of sexual harassment during their background search and that Reade never came up. He said a team of roughly 10 lawyers spent 2 months digging into Biden's background, looking for any hint of ethnical misconduct which would indicate harassment or discrimination. When asked if complaints were found from women indicating Biden had touched them in a way that made them feel uncomfortable, Jeffers said his team found not a hint of that in 2008. So, did this really happen or not? You be the judge. Let us know. Comment below and let us know. Do you think this happened or not? We want to hear from you. And that does it for this Friday evening edition of the Riley King Network Investigates, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching. I'll see you back here next Friday for another edition of the Riley King Network Investigates. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend, and goodbye.